So another day, another delicious healthy vegan snack. This time, chocolate chip granola bars made with no oil, no refined wheat, and no refined sugar. These are great for hiking, an at-home snack, or putting in the kids' lunchbox. And today, I'm going to show you how to make your own. All right, so before we go over ingredients and start putting these chewy granola bars together, I've got a very special announcement that I'm so happy about, and that is that my cookbook, Make Your Own, is now available. Now, when I first started posting videos, I had no intentions of doing a cookbook, but over the years, so many people have encouraged me to do a cookbook and said that they wanted to do a cookbook that I thought it would be a good thing to do, and it is now done. You can go to the address on your screen right now. It'll take you to my website, and you can pre-order my cookbook, or you can look at the description below the video, and I'll have a link there that'll take you to where you can pre-order. If you're planning on getting the book, now is the time, because when the pre-orders do well, it gives the book momentum and it just creates more of a buzz around it, and we can get this message out to as many people as possible and hopefully get these books in a lot of hands. So my cookbook, Make Your Own, is now available, and I would appreciate it greatly if you would go out and pre-order it. All right, now let's talk about what we're going to use for these delicious chewy granola bars. I've got some date syrup. I've got some cashew butter here, some walnuts, some chocolate chips. I've got some crispy quinoa. I've got some dates, some oats, a little cinnamon, and some vanilla bean powder. Now, by now, you probably know that vanilla bean powder is what I've been using in place of vanilla extract. And I've kind of told some people about that, and I've had quite a few people write me and say, hey, I tried that vanilla bean powder, and you're right, it carries the flavor so much better. And not only that, guys, it doesn't have any alcohol, doesn't have any glycerin. If you get it organic like I do, it's one ingredient. The antioxidants, the nutrients are more potent. So vanilla bean powder is the way to go. If you wanted to make this recipe nut-free, for my nut-free followers out there, you could simply replace the cashew butter with a seed butter. And then instead of walnuts, you could do some type of seeds or a chopped seed. And then this would be completely nut-free. Also, the oats, as well as the chocolate chips, as you know, are things that I talk about on my app. I talk about where to source the cleanest brands for these type of things. And then I know a lot of you may not be familiar with crispy quinoa. It's really good, really, really good. It takes the place of rice and puffed rice in a recipe like this, and it's going to give these granola bars a really, really nice texture. But these you can order online if you don't have them at your local store. Just look for crispy quinoa. Okay, so these are the ingredients we're going to use to put these delicious, chewy chocolate chip granola bars together. Let's start doing it. All right, so now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my dates by themselves, and I'm going to put them into the processor, and I'm going to grind them until they break down a bit and kind of stick together into like a big clump, like a little date ball there. And what that does is breaking them down makes it a lot easier to mix them. I don't need to process the other ingredients. That's why I'm keeping those separate, but I do need to break down the dates, which is what I'm going to do right now.
If you're enjoying this video, please like and subscribe below.
Okay, so now I've got my dates chopped up into a nice little date ball here. I'm just going to set that aside, and now we're going to start mixing our other ingredients together, and we'll bring our date mixture back in shortly.
Now, I'm using chocolate chips, chopped walnuts, and crispy quinoa in these bars, but you can substitute any ingredients of your choice using roughly the same measurements.
All right, so now I've blended up my dates. I've got those into a nice little ball. I've got my other dry ingredients and spices mixed here. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my date syrup and my nut butter and put them on a low heat and just, soften them up a bit and heat them up a bit. And it'll make it a lot better for mixing the complete mixture together.
Why make your own granola bars? Well, even when you buy ones that are supposed to be simple out of the grocery store, they still contain things like cane sugar, rice flour, brown rice syrup, soy lecithin, and so-called natural flavors. That's why it's better to make your own.
All right, so this won't hurt a bit. Just give me a minute. And all righty. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my mixture kind of kneaded together really well. And it takes a little effort because the date and the nut butter together are pretty sticky. So it takes a little bit of effort to get this mixed in really well, but I'm about to do that right now.
Okay, so once the mixture is completely kneaded and combined, I'm adding it to a parchment-lined pan and pressing it until it's even and compact. I like to do this with a silicone spatula, like the one you see me using here.
All right, so now I've got my mixture compressed into the pan, nice and firm there. Now I'm gonna get them in the refrigerator. And by doing that, it's gonna cool down the nut butter, it's gonna cool down the date mixture, and these are gonna get nice and firm, but not too firm. They're gonna be just perfect to make a nice, chewy granola bar. You'll see as soon as we get these cool. Okay, so now I'm taking my pan out of the refrigerator because I've got the texture and the consistency exactly where I want it. They're nice and firm. So now it's just a matter of cutting them into bars. You can cut them small, you can cut them large. Let's start cutting them now.
Okay, so you'll see here that the lining of the pan with the parchment paper makes it super easy to remove the bars from the pan. And look at these. Super simple to make and better than any of the bars in the store.
All right, so our bars are done and they're cut. I cut them a little on the large side compared to what you get in the grocery store. So they're a little larger, a lot healthier, and I bet they taste better too. So let's try one for you, of course. Wow, I'm telling you guys, this is a really good granola bar. If you're a fan of granola bars, you'll love these. Chewy, the perfect amount of sweetness. The flavors are great. This is a great bar. I'm sure that you and the kids will love them. Perfect flavor and a texture on point. Got to make your own.